Hey, what's going on, everybody? Can everybody hear me? Hey, Shah, what's going on? Hey, Ashish, how's it going? Can you guys hear me? Can you tell me if you can hear me? Okay. Okay. It looks like there's no sound. Let's see here. Can you guys hear me? All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. Hey, Zainab, Daniel, Paras, how's it going? Ali, Ashish, Ashish, long time. How have you been, buddy? Awesome, Danushka. Thanks for joining in. Naman, oh my God, so many people joining in. Arif, okay, sounds good. All right, perfect, perfect. How's everybody doing? Norman, thanks so much. Great to see you as well. I'm great, Zainab. I'm great. Just doing my first LinkedIn live. I'm just gonna give it a minute or two, just to see who else joins in as well. And just happy to be here. Yeah. Hey, Akash, how's it going? Yeah, Ashish, it's been a few years, right? Good to see you as well. Nirav, thanks so much. Appreciate that. Sarat Kumar, I'm doing great, thanks. Yeah, just so I got LinkedIn Live, guys, a couple of days back. So I definitely wanted to take advantage of the platform and you know interact with all of you live and direct and hey Sneha, thanks so much, appreciate it. And interact with all of you live and direct. And I felt it's a great opportunity for all of you that are actively on the market for work, or even passively on the market for work, and discuss any job search, recruitment questions you might have. And this way, because I get a lot of questions from a lot of people, and it's at a point where sometimes it's hard for me to keep up with all the questions I get through messaging and emails and all of that. So I thought this was a great opportunity for me to really interact with all of you in my network and respond to any job search related questions that you have, and where I can really add some value and share my perspective and really provide you with some tips and advice from myself as a recruiter on the agency side. So thanks so much for joining in. And what I plan to do really is do these videos probably once a week, just to start off, see how things are, and really cover and how I'm going to structure it. And how I'm going to structure today's video actually is first, I just want to give you kind of an overview of how I'm going to structure the topics and what I'm going to be discussing. Hey, Neha, I'm doing great. Thanks. How about yourself? Great to see you on here as well. Thanks so much for joining. Prashant, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Mo, I'm doing great. Thanks. And thanks for your message as well. And so what I'm going to be covering, folks, is firstly, for the most part, given that a lot of you are job seekers on the market, I'm definitely going to be covering at each of these weekly live LinkedIn streams. I'm going to be covering various uh, job search tips, right? And this could be related to interviews. It could be how to connect with recruiters. How should you what avenues you should use to connect with recruiters. Why are recruiters not responding to you? Why are certain individuals not getting back to you or ghosting you? What's happening? Why aren't you getting interviews? Interview tips, interview preparation tips, handling stalls and objections at your interviews. Anything and everything that all of you have that's job search related, feel free to ask. There's no such thing as a stupid or dumb question, and don't hold back. Feel free to ask any question you have, and I'll certainly do my best at from my part to help all of you and get you and share with you my perspective and what might be going on in your search, and in real time, right? So that we can really interact and I can answer all of your questions. What is this? Jay is asking, can we directly send a message for a job to the hiring manager? Jay, I'm going to get around to questions shortly. I'm just going to cover how I'm going to structure these live streams. So if I do forget, when I get to the Q&A part, Jay, ask that question again. I'm definitely going to cover that. And Ashish, you got another question as well. Sharing your number again, would like that. Yeah, absolutely, Ashish. Shoot me a message. I'll definitely give you my number. Hey, Khatija, nice to see you. Thanks so much for joining. Great to see you on here. So yeah, so I'm gonna be covering job search topics, and then on the other side, I'll also be covering recruitment and the recruitment side of the equation, right? Because I have a lot of contacts and connections that are in HR and fellow recruiters and hiring managers that have their own set of challenges on the recruitment side of the equation. So I'm definitely open to helping and providing my perspective and on things from that side of things as well, and do my part in seeing how I can help the industry and help improve things and address things on that side of the table as well. So that being said, what I want to talk about today is, and a frequent question I get asked, especially now being this time of the year, is holiday period job search tips. Is it true? A question I get asked a lot, Dean. Is it true that the job market slows down during the holiday season during December? Should I even bother doing a search? So what I wanted to briefly discuss is four tips that I have with regards to this holiday season thing, right? Like, so should you even be applying? What can you expect during this period? So firstly, absolutely, it does kind of slow down a bit, but the market does not pull to a halt, folks. That does not mean that you take your foot off the pedal and you no longer keep your job search going. It just means that you have to adjust, and you have to actually increase the level of action you take. So the first tip I have is understand that there are still a lot of organizations that are looking to hire. There are still people, hiring teams that are desperately looking to hire the right talent for their teams. And a lot of these individuals, a lot of these hiring teams and recruiters and organizations, a lot of them want to make these hires before the end of the year so that they can get that done with and move on, right, before they move on to the new year. It's just a matter of finding those opportunities. I have a few clients at the moment that are always, frequently reaching out to me, Dean. We really need these roles filled in before the end of the year. So there's definitely organizations out there that are hiring. Now that being said, there are certainly organizations out there that where things have kind of slowed down, right? Because people take time off, vacations, and all of that stuff. But that does not mean that the entire market comes to a halt. That's not true. So this week and next week, certainly things do slow down a bit, but that does not mean that it's time for you to take a break. It's not time for you to take a break. You just need to keep searching for the right organizations that are highly motivated to hire. If not immediately, at least in January, and so on and so forth. Now, the second tip is this is a great period for you to keep connecting with recruiters and staffing agency recruiters such as myself, maybe other corporate recruiters, and just keep reaching out and connecting with recruiters. And this is a great time to reconnect if you haven't been in touch with them for a while, and discuss your current situation, what's changed since you last spoke, what you're looking, and let them know that you're still on the market, that you're looking for new opportunities, and make sure that they're aware that you are actively on the market and you are someone motivated to move on to another opportunity. And the point here is might be a good, given that it is a bit slow, you might have a better chance of reaching those really busy recruiters as well. So stay in communication, keep reaching out, and keep following up. Now the third tip is this is also a great time for you to re-examine your past interviews, right? If you've been going for interviews, it's time for you to sit down and evaluate. Okay, what areas can I improve on? What areas might I have experienced some setbacks or things not going right? And it's a great opportunity for you to make those evaluations, right? And that way, make the right adjustments and make those changes and those adjustments, and implement that into your job search, whatever the case might be. Tip number 4 is it's also a good time for you to keep track of your wins, like what you're doing right. So this is a good time for you to really sit down and figure out, okay, what am I doing right? Because you want to keep doing what you're doing right, right? So don't change if you're taking certain actions that are getting you results, and maybe that's you're getting those return phone calls. Maybe you keep getting interviews. You're doing that part of things right. So keep doing whatever you're doing to get those interviews and those phone calls and what you're doing right. Uh, all you need to change is those aspects, or make adjustments in those aspects where you're not getting the results you want. So know the difference between the two. Don't keep doing what's working, and whatever's not working, examine it and investigate it. So those are my 4 tips. Hope that's helpful for you, at least at a high level. during the holiday, during your job search. Now, I definitely what I wanted to. Hey, Robert, how's it going? I'm doing great, thanks. How about yourself? Danushka, great initiative, Dean. I wanted to get more insights on the recruitment process in tech industry. Yeah, sounds good, Danushka. Feel free to send me a message, or we'll cover that shortly. So yeah, at this point, I definitely wanted to open up the floor for specific job search questions that you have, and I'll certainly do my best to respond to what questions you have at this point. So um, let me see here. So who has any questions? Can I get your number? Danushka, feel free to send me a message, a private message. And actually, my office line is on my LinkedIn profile. So certainly feel free to give me a call, and we can definitely connect and have a discussion about that. So Dishank is asking, hello, Dean, any tips for freshers regarding job search? Absolutely, Dishank. So now I'm not sure at which point of your studies you are, but definitely the first thing you need to do is you need to start building out your network, right? And do exactly what you're doing in terms of connecting with recruiters and attending professional networking events. And you want to get in front of as many people as possible, and especially you want to be getting in front of hiring authorities, hiring managers. So, and you find a lot of be able to connect with a lot of these people if you join, especially networking events in the tech in the industry that you're in. I'm assuming you're in IT. I'm not sure, but a great networking event, a great technology related event is TechTO. Those are great events. You get to meet a lot of people, volunteer at these events, and just keep putting yourself out there in front of the right people, and don't depend on just one avenue. And also, additionally, obviously, given that obviously you're on LinkedIn, keep connecting with and expanding your network on LinkedIn as well, and keep putting yourself out there. So hope that's helpful. Hey Mutaz, how's it going? Trupti, thanks so much for joining. How's it going? Any other questions, guys? Any job search related questions you want me to cover? I'd be happy to cover that right now. Yeah, Jay, I believe you asked, can we directly send a message for a job to the hiring manager? Absolutely. If you apply for a job directly, you can certainly send a message directly to the hiring manager. If you're being represented by an agency, the agency would coordinate that communication for you, right? Because you don't want to be represented through an agency and then bypass the agency and then go straight directly to the hiring manager. That could damage your relationship with the agency, because that looks bad on you as well as the agency, right? So but if you're applying directly for a role, by all means, absolutely, yeah, feel free to connect with them directly. What else? Any other questions? Anybody else have any questions they want me to cover, that they want me to go over in regards to the job search or your interviews, any setbacks you're facing? Any questions? No questions? Okay, let me scroll up and see. There were a few questions earlier on. Let's see here. Trupti, the best number to reach me at is my office line. So if you go to my LinkedIn profile, you'll see my office number right there. So feel free to give me a call. And folks, that's the reason why I put my phone number right there on my profile. If you have any questions, you want to call in and introduce yourself. Obviously, my office line is only during business hours. So during standard business hours, feel free to give me a call anytime. Right? Any other questions? Anybody else have any questions? Any particular topics you want me to go over and cover? Anything job search related? All right, Chinmay, interview tips, please. Okay, so I mean that's a pretty broad topic, Chinmay. Anything in particular you want me to cover? Uh, is it like in regards to getting interviews? Is it regards to the interview itself? What sticking points or what challenges are you facing in your interview? If you can let me know, I'll be happy to answer any specific questions you have regarding the interview. But at a very high level, though, a definitely important interview tip I'd like to share is, and this is a crucial thing, folks, when you're at the interview, you have to get an understanding of what the problem is that the organization is trying to solve by hiring you for that position. Because every position, behind every real position at a company, at an organization, they're looking to solve a problem. So keep that in mind. There's always a problem looking to get solved. And when they're looking to hire for a position, they're looking for someone to come in and solve a problem. So what you need to figure out at the interview is, firstly, what exactly is the problem they're looking to solve? And when you have an understanding of what that problem is, then it's easy for you to make the connection between what you bring to the table, your skill set, your experience, the type of maybe it's the type of projects you've done in the past, and making that connection between what you bring to the table and the problem they're looking to solve. So and you got to make that connection, right? That's the connection you got to make. And when you do that, when you tie those two together, that's when you're able to sell the employer, the interviewer, the recruiter, whoever it is, on why you could potentially be the perfect person for the role. But you have to make that connection, and key to that is figuring out what problem they have. And that's why the interview, you need to treat the interview like almost like an investigation, right? So don't just sit there and just answer their questions. You need to be asking your own questions as well to get an understanding of why they're looking to hire for the position, what's the urgency in hiring for the position, what problem are they looking to solve. And knowing that information, you'll be able to highlight the most relevant aspects of your background, right? Because no matter what kind of an impressive background you have, how many great projects you've done, if you're not highlighting and speaking about the most relevant projects that you've completed and that you have in your background, that you have under your belt, that doesn't appeal to the problem they're looking to solve, then it doesn't matter, right? No matter how impressive the project is. If I'm if and this is just an analogy, but if I'm like thirsty, if I've been in the desert for 20 days and I need a glass of water, I don't care what the glass is made of. I just need some water. My problem is I'm really thirsty. Like I don't care if you give me in a can, in a glass, in a vase. I don't care. I just need water. That's because my problem is that I'm really thirsty. I just want water. I don't care what brand the glass is. I don't care about any of that. So you get my point. So it's the same thing at the interview. Is you need to figure out what the problem is that the interviewer, the organization, the hiring manager, the team, what problem are they looking to solve, and then highlight the most relevant aspects of your background, and that's how you sell them on how you're the ideal person for the role. You cannot do this. Do not depend on the job description, folks. A lot of you think the job description tells the full story, and you're assuming that the job description is exactly what they're looking for in an ideal candidate. Not always the case. There are some rare cases where the job description is a great reflection of the role. Not always. So this is where you all of you have to get used to asking those probing questions and understanding what problem they're looking to solve. Because if you don't understand what the problem is and exactly what they're looking for in an ideal candidate, you're not going to know what aspects of your background to sell them on. So step number one, okay? So hopefully this is you guys are getting this, but step number one is figure out what exactly they're looking for in an ideal candidate. What their problem is, why is it urgent, why are they looking to hire at this time. Knowing that information, you can now use that information and highlight the most relevant aspects of your background and sell them on why you're the ideal person for the position. So Chinmay, I know I kind of dragged that on a bit there, but I hope that was helpful. Folks, anybody else have any other questions, any other recruitment, job search questions, interview questions, anything at all that you want me to cover regarding your job search? All right, guys, it looks like there's no further questions. So thank you so much for everyone who joined in. And again, I will be doing these tips on a weekly basis. I'll probably be doing it midweek, probably on Wednesdays. I'm thinking probably Wednesdays at around 8 p.m. or so. And again, I'll speak about a specific job search related topic, and then I'll open the floor for any specific questions that you have, and I'll certainly do my best to answer and provide my perspective and my tips and my advice. So look, thank you so much for everyone for joining in. Appreciate you tuning in, and I certainly look forward to continuing these live LinkedIn live Q&As and help all of you out with your job search. Thanks so much and have a good night.